I was thinking earlier how I was gonna record this. I was gonna record it before, like, I was gonna record it and then insert it at the beginning of part two of the video that I'm gonna upload later today. But then I just thought it's gonna be short, but also long enough to be its own video. And it's also still something, one of my random talk videos. For starters, this is going up who knows when, probably in an hour from me recording this, which, by the way, as of me recording this, see if you can see this, it is 3:05 a.m. So prime time recording hours. So if we go to the window here, yeah, this is camera audio, by the way. See how I just lifted the blinds up? See how there's nothing outside apart from whatever light that is? Yeah, we're dealing with nothing. You haven't seen me in about, well, no, over a month. I think maybe even over 40 days. Which even in the summer, I don't think that I took a long sabbatical or whatever like that. I was just, um, kind of, my energy was spiking up and down, and I was bouncing back and forth between motivation and, um, discipline. Um, so first of all, let's kind of backtrack a little bit. Probably wondering what excuse is he gonna come up with this time? Well, calm down. It's a little valid enough. Not really. Um, so Black Myth Wukong, a game that I was intensely excited for, came out exactly 1 week before my junior year of college started. And I I played some of it. I recorded 3 or 4 parts or whatever the equivalent of that would be about. Um, so I'm not done with the game even right now. I haven't touched it since the last time that I pressed record on the camera. Um, and then that was the end of August, and the beginning of September was my mother's birthday, so I had to get ready for that. And for the most part, I really don't like to buy gifts. I'm a pretty creative person. I prefer to create them when I can. And you know what? Let me just show you something. This isn't what I made for her, but just to give you the idea, this is because I don't just draw. I mean, I know you don't even see the drawings that I do regularly, but I don't just draw, I don't just do YouTube. I also kind of dabble in clothing. So this is kind of like an example of what I made my mom for her birthday, which was her own jacket. Uh, but even then, I was running short on time because I was adjusting to school. And to be honest, even though it's been pretty much a month and a half at this point into school, I'm still adjusting to it. Um, and then currently, I'm entering midterms. So that's just to give you an idea of the fact that it's been pretty jam-packed for me as far as having time for YouTube has gone. Um, so there's that, and then I've been trying to be more persistent and trying to manage myself more in reading my Bible as frequently as possible. I'm not gonna be too hard on myself. Actually, I'm really not gonna be hard on myself at all because, to be honest, I I can't think of the last couple of months where I haven't gone more than a week without reading my Bible, even if it's just one chapter. I mean, I haven't just read one chapter a week, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not gonna be too hard on myself there. I'm actually gonna give myself a bit more leniency and not condemn myself in that regard. So that's something good. But I will say that I have been feeling, and I talked about this with my dad. I don't know if it was last week or the week before last. The feeling of being overwhelmed. And I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the first time, maybe not ever, but as far as like as strong as it is now compared to any possible point in my life prior, this is probably the strongest that I've ever felt overwhelmed in my life. Where not only is there so much that I need to do, but there's so much that I want to do where I'm struggling to process it all, if that makes sense. Like, I have a huge list of things that I need to do, and then a set of things that I want to do, and they all get scrambled around with each other, which leaves me to feel like I don't know where to start and I don't know where to end. So it's a little tough to kind of know in a way which foot do I start running this marathon in after the person shoots up in the air and says go, you know? So yeah, I definitely need to get back into a more structured and organized way. I need to get back, crack open my journal and notebook and start like actually writing stuff out for my week. Maybe not even my week. That might be too broad going back into it as somebody who hasn't journaled in a couple of months. Maybe even go back to my just planning out my day. How do I go through my day, you know? And you're probably wondering, why am I recording this at 3 a.m.? Why wasn't I asleep hours ago? Well, you probably can't hear it in my voice, but that's another thing. I just stopped being sick. Thankfully, glory be to God, I didn't have I didn't have COVID, which was some of my friends were worried about that. They'd be like, "Oh, you probably have COVID." My mom was like, "Oh, I hope you don't have COVID, but let's get the test." And came back negative. Don't have COVID. It was just a short cold. I was knocked out for about 3 days. Um, but you know, I feel like I really needed those. I really needed those days, those hours, those multiple minutes that felt like days, even longer than that. Um, where I just needed to like calm myself. And that's why I'm recording this right now. You see, my hair is all whatever this is. I don't know if you can see. Let me zoom in. Yeah, I know this is gonna be gross. Chill, relax. I don't know if you can see my chin and my facial hair. First of all, I haven't shaved in like a couple of days, but my chin, this whole area is smooth. Let me explain that to you. That's a problem that I have. I'm being completely candid, completely transparent right now, where whenever I am super stressed, I will pick the hairs out of my chin. And for the most part, I don't care because I usually end up shaving before I walk out of the house looking like this anyway. But also with that is I don't want to have a beard. I don't like facial hair on me. But that is a stress mechanism or bad habit that I have is that I'll just start picking whenever I'm overthinking, whenever I'm super stressed. I just these hairs all across my face, but mainly my chin, they're not living to see tomorrow, you know? So that's like apart from me not wanting facial hair, that's another reason why I do not why I cannot leave the house unless I'm shaving. unless I'm shaved. Um, but let me backtrack for a second. I was in bed and I was just lying there and I was thinking. I was thinking back to what I said in a previous video a couple of months ago. Maybe the beginning of summer, where I said, you can either watch or you can be somebody who is watched. And what I meant when I said that was create or observe creation. Now, I have a lot of passions, but of course, what I share at the forefront is just YouTube. But beyond that, or not even beyond that, no, actually behind that, behind those curtains, behind all of these objectives on a piece of paper that I'm trying to strike through and then move my way down the list, I need to get back to the point where I have time. And because I have time, I need to be able to manage my time correctly. And I thought for the longest time, not even for the longest time, I say for the past week, maybe 2 weeks, when I was really gonna plan to not even make this video, but just jump back into things and go back into Black Myth, Wukong, react to Baddington, because I know there's a bunch of videos that I need to catch up on there. I was thinking, I have a lot to do. I have a lot that I want to do, but I'm not doing enough. And that is when I realized that was the problem. That is why I felt so overwhelmed, is because there was a lot that I wanted to do, and I didn't have enough time, realistically, because let's face it, we are humans, we're not robots. We actually need we actually need valuable and designated time to relax and to re-energize, however that be. Whatever way works for you, it's not going to work for somebody else. Their ways are not going to work for you. We need time for specifically designed for ourselves so we can recharge and then put energy back into this category, that category, right? So, the flawed mindset that was present is that I was constantly thinking, oh, I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. Which led to me being infrequently tired, constantly overthinking, shutting down, and I'll be honest, for the friends of mine who are going to watch this video, isolating myself, right? Like, there's a friend of mine who I'm not gonna say one, but I am gonna use a few examples. There's a friend of mine who I haven't talked to in about 4 months, which sucks. Now, granted, I'm not really on social media as much anymore, but I still have her number. A friend of mine who reached out to me, who knows that I'm not on Instagram anymore, and was like, "Hey, we should catch up one day." I was like, "Yeah." That was about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't really messaged him. And we're best friends to each other. That's not fair to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like in trying to look at things every single every single place, right? Instead of trying to take the entire picture and examine it as a whole, I needed what I should have been doing and what I need to do is to just break things down into individual categories and say, all right, you work on this first. And then this will get its shine when it gets its shine. This will get its time and my attention when it does. And then I'll come back here. And then I'm done here, so I'm going to go here. Instead of trying to do every single thing all at once. Because that's going to destroy me. If I am spread out across multiple areas and nothing is solely getting my attention, time, and energy, like completely on its own, as it deserves, then that means it's not getting my full respect. That means it's not getting my best work ethic, my best anything. It's only getting 10%. And what on earth is it going to do with 10%? If you give a flower 1 drop of water a day, it's not going to grow. It's just going to be stagnant. But when you actually give it the proper amount of sunlight, the proper amount of water, and whatever else, then it's going to flourish. That's basically the point that I'm trying to make. And if it applies to you, that's great. I'm really just talking to myself because I know that I need to hear this, and I know most importantly, I need to say this. So, that being said, I know randomly recording this at 3 a.m., probably going to post it at, shoot, maybe I'll just post it immediately. Sync the mic audio and the camera, and then put it out there. No edits, no nada. Well, I don't really know what else to say, but my mouth is dry, and I'm still not tired, even though it's almost 3:30. But hey, I'll see you soon.